Good evening. Welcome to the Village Board Annual Organizational Meeting for Monday, January 13th at 6 p.m. We're here in the boardroom at Village Hall. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Megan, would you take roll call, please?
Trustee Wojka?
Here.
Trustee Bonaski? Trustee Mishler?
Here.
Trustee Briggs?
Here.
Mayor Domerantz?
Here. This meeting is held every year, and it's an opportunity for us to do new appointments or appointments for staff or to boards. And we're going to start this evening with our new appointment to the Fairport Police Department. Our guest here this evening, we have Nick, let me make sure I announce it, Nick Pagano, Officer Pagano, and Chief Matt Barnes, if you want to come on over and take care of the swearing in.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Barnes. I'm the Fairport Police Chief. For the people listening at home that do not know me, I think most of the board does at this point. Thank you for the board and citizens willing to listen and give us the opportunity to come in front of you tonight to swear in one of our officers, Nick Pagano. So he'll be speaking here shortly, as you guys know. So I was home this weekend, and as you go through in your career, and there's a couple of retirees that have taken their time out tonight and come back to see the swearing in, one a few years ago, one most recent. But as you go through this process and you try to lead people or build a department and try to figure out what's right for it. And this weekend I was sitting there and just thinking about how many years ago that I was in Nick's spot, right? And it's been almost 28 years now for me since I earned my badge, and that's a long time. And you start to reflect as you get older. I don't know why that is, but I think you start thinking of things as you get older. So I started thinking when I came on the job, I think there was right around 5,000 or 5,500 people that took the civil service test to get hired for police officer at that time for the city of Rochester. They hired 60, and then they did the top 60 backgrounds, and they hired 40 of us. So it was 40 in a pool of 5,500. I called today because I was curious. I know our profession has seen better days, right? There's some long days we've had in the past 4 or 5 years. So I called the county today and said, how many people took the last test? And they said between 300 and 400 took the last test. And that's very, very concerning. The reason I share that with the public tonight and I share that with this board, and a lot of our department members are probably not aware of those numbers, but it's very, very hard to get qualified candidates now to come onto this job and to represent either your department or your community. And I think we're very, very fortunate to be able to attract and to be able to hire the guy standing to my left, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Last year, as we sat there as a police department and the senior leaders of the department, you try to project the needs and wants of your department throughout the next year. And we've had a couple retirement we knew was coming, and possibly one in the next year or two. So you start, strategizing for that and put out feelers, and we conduct interviews, multiple interviews, and one name kept rising to the top, and that was of Nick Pagano standing to my left. So obviously after the entire process, and the process is long for a police officer, it's not a matter of interviewing a person and saying that's the guy we want or the girl we want or the individual that we think best represents us. They have to go through a lot of processes after the interviews, and that's the psychological examination and the medical examination and the entire background to conclude financials, so on and so forth. It's a lengthy process. We don't have the ability not to do that. That is state mandated. So we invest, or you guys invest, as you guys give me money, in my budget to allocate towards what I believe is the correct way of spending it. One of those line items is obviously background and recruitment. So background and recruitment of Nick Pagano has cost us, as a board, as a community, but I think it's very, very good money spent when you learn a thing or two about Nick, and when you run into him on the street and the citizens get to know him. I think he was the right choice, and I think everyone here in the room that had a say in that interview process would agree. So Officer Pagano comes to us from the New York State University policing system. Started his career at SUNY Binghamton before transferring to SUNY Brockport, where he was awarded the the rank of lieutenant before leaving and coming to us. We're very fortunate for that. That shows his leadership style and his motivation that he had within those departments to be recognized and advanced in his employment. Prior to becoming a police officer, Nick attended SUNY Geneseo, where he graduated with his degree in accounting. So our numbers should be straight on for the next year, so we finally have an accountant in the building. Megan, you should appreciate that. Nick is married, as he stated previously, and has a 1-year-old son. They're not able to be here tonight because his son is obviously very small, and they're going through sleep training. He's also a police instructor, holds certifications in general topics instruction, holds certification in defensive tactics, patrol mountain bike, and is also a property evidence custodian technician. Those certifications require an immense amount of time, effort, and again, money, right? To send someone to the academy to backfill his spot while he's gaining those certifications. So we're very, very lucky to be able to have that from his past employment. It is with great pride I introduce you to Nick Pagano. Thank you. So we're going to do the oath of office. It's a very short oath of office. Nick was very concerned that he could not see it because he could not remember it, so I'll walk it through. And then Nick's going to say a few words, as they all do, in front of the board and to the community to introduce himself.
Nick, I can't remember it either. You just follow along.
So you turn and face me. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Nicholas Pagano,
Do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution
do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the state of New York,
and the state of New York,
and faithfully discharge the duties of position of police officer,
and faithfully discharge
the
the
duties,
duties of the position of police officer,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So I'll give Nick the microphone for a couple of minutes as he's prepared a small speech. Thank you.
So I look back on my journey in the profession of police officer. It's the only thing I saw myself doing. My grandfather retired from the Rochester Police Department. He was on the SWAT team. He was a firearms instructor. Spent a lot of time growing up with them, so this is the only thing I saw myself doing. The first police job I took was 2.5 hours away, so I uprooted my entire life, moved to Binghamton, New York, knew absolutely nothing about it. Then made a step to get back to Brockport, and then ultimately ended up here in Fairport. Absolutely, I've loved the area. I've loved everybody I've met so far. And now that I have a young son, school districts are a huge consideration of mine. So everything has worked out so far, and I'm excited for it. And thank you.
Welcome.
Once again, guys, thank you for giving us the time to come. I think it's important to recognize people. When we hear about the bad, sometimes it's great to hear about the good. So I really, really appreciate the board's time, the community's time. I know there's citizens here. Thank you for granting us that time, you guys.
We're going to see you back again next month.
You are. So we have another a good news in the police department. We've made a promotion from a recent retirement. So on the February board meeting, we'll be conducting that promotion.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll give you all a moment to.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we'll move on with the rest of this meeting. Let me put my glasses back on because I can't read this. All right, so item number 2 is appointments by the mayor for a period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. And for Deputy Mayor Heidi Woika, and for Finance Committee Adam Banoski and Heidi Woika. Can I have a motion and a second for that, please?
So moved. Second.
Terrific. Any discussion? I want to thank, I'm going to say something. So, yeah, there is some discussion. I want to thank former Deputy Mayor Mishler for doing a fantastic job for the last 2 years. and we're just transitioning things so that other people get experiences. But I'm really excited to have Trustee Wojka now as Deputy Mayor Wojka, and thank you for your effort and time and the work that you put into it. Anybody else?
No.
We'll just keep going. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That'll be unanimous. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor Heidi Wojka. Item number 3 is appointments by the mayor with approval of the Board of Trustees. So, I'm going to go through the ones that all have the same end date. So the top list, I'm not going to say the date every time, but this is a motion to appoint by the village board to appoint for a period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 for village attorney John A. Mancuso, clerk treasurer Megan A. Cook, deputy treasurer Holly Evans, deputy clerk Alexandra Whalen, deputy zoning officer Jill M. Weidrich, fire marshal Mark Lindsay, and fire chief P.J. Kolb. Can I have a motion and a second for those, please?
So moved.
By trustee Wojka, or deputy mayor Wojka? You're still going to be trustee Wojka.
Second.
By trustee Mishler. Any questions or comments?
It's a talented group of people.
It is a talented group of people. And it's good to see that we'll have you back again for another year, John. All in favor?
Thank you, Mayor.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That part of that number 3 is done. We'll start moving on to some individual groupings. For Fairport Municipal Commission Chair will be Rachel Stuckey until December 31st, 2025, and member Lauren Dilgosh from January 2025 to December 31st, 2029. I'm just going to read through the rest of the whole of this list. For Planning Board, we have Chair Yana Gronkowski for January to December of 2025. Member Andrew Martin from January of 2025 through December 31st, 2029. For the Zoning Board of Appeals, the chair will be Jamie Mewison for January of 2025 through December 31st. She will also be reappointed as a member to the Zoning Board of Appeals from January of 2025 through December 31st, 2029. Under the Historic Preservation Commission, the chair will be Kara Myers from January 1st, 25 through December 31st, 25. And then she will also be reappointed as a member from January 25 through December 31st, 2029. An alternate member, Laura DiCaprio, will be reappointed January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029. Under the Tree Board, it's a little bit different here. The chair will be selected by the Tree Board, and they will be the chair for this current upcoming year through December 31st, 2025. As members, Noah Cherry, Sue Wall, and alternate member Carrie Reardon will be from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029. And then under school traffic guards, all for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, Marilyn Serralo, Linda Elliott, Madeline Lucas, Francis Matz, and Sheila Scanlon. And then lastly, under the Fairport Public Art Committee, the chair will be Pat Rapp, and that will be from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Can I have a motion and a second for that, please?
So moved. Trustee Mishler?
Second.
Trustee Wojka? Any discussion?
Just a big thank you to all of these volunteers.
Yes.
These boards could not run without their volunteerism. And to take some of them take considerable time.
Yes,
So-
and thank you to our school traffic guards.
Absolutely.
With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous, which will take us to motion number 4. Motion by the village board regarding the operations of the village. So item number 1, or part 1 of this, village board meetings will be held on the second Monday of each month at 6 p.m., except for the following. The board reserves the right to modify meeting dates based on availability and need, and the October meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 14th. Work session meetings will be the fourth Monday of each month at 6 p.m. The village reserves the right to modify meeting dates based on availability and need. The official newspaper will be the Democrat and Chronicle, and mileage compensation will follow the current Internal Revenue Service employee business rate established for tax deductions. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
By trustee Briggs,
Second.
by trustee Wojka. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. Taking us to number 5, which is a motion by the village board to adopt various Village of Fairport policies and procedures, which were all included in your packet. The board meeting procedure, the cash management procedure, investment policy, and procurement policy. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved. Trustee Mishler?
Second.
Trustee Wojka? And are there any questions or comments regarding all of these procedures that were included in the packet? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous as well, which takes us, let me make sure I get to the right page. Okay. Item number 6 is a motion to authorize designated signatories for the Village of Fairport, Julie M. Domeratz as mayor, Brian L. White, village manager, Megan A. Cook, clerk treasurer.
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Briggs. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. Item number 7 is a motion by the village board to authorize the designation of the following depositories of all money received by the village: J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and NYCLASS. There we go. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
By trustee Wojka,
Second.
by trustee Mishler. Any questions?
What is NYCLASS?
I'll let Megan answer that.
It's pooled investments for municipalities. So it acts as an investment, but it's highly liquid, which is really nice. We put all of our capital money in there until we're ready to use it, so we earn interest on it, but we can have it the next day.
And we've been using them, correct?
Yeah,
Just-
we've been
just
using it.
Annually have to
Yeah,
revisit this.
And we keep comparing the interest rates to CDs, and the interest rates are still better, plus you have the liquidity versus the CDs, so it's a win-win.
Thank you.
Right.
Anything else? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous as well. Item number 8 is a motion by the village board to authorize claims for public utility services, postage, freight, and express charges to be paid in advance of the audit.
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Briggs. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. And then item number 9 is a motion by the village board to authorize the electronic delivery of proposed local laws to meet the aging requirements set forth in the municipal home rule, section 20, item 4, or dash 4. Can I have a motion and a second for that, please?
So moved.
By trustee Wojka,
Second.
by trustee Briggs. Any questions? That's essentially the fact that in olden days, it had to be placed upon your desk, the printed copy of it.
Yes.
And today, we get it via electronic delivery. And we're just proving that we can have it sent via email versus a printed copy handed to you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
We can use email.
Yeah, we can use email.
So glad we approved that.
Item number 10 is a motion by the village board authorizing the village manager to recruit, hire, and enter into conditional offers of employment with any and all employees as required by the Village of Fairport.
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Wojka. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That will take us to number 11. Okay, so I'm going to do this the way the village manager suggested I do it. For time purposes. A motion by the village board to authorize village officials and employees to join and attend the following associations, conferences, or meetings per village board or department head approval as listed in the agenda below. I'm not going to read through each one of these. So,
And we just had a few people attend. Our
yes,
DPW crew just attended.
yes. These are the standard
The
list.
conferences.
There's nothing new in this list from prior years, right?
No, there's not. And again, just because they're on here doesn't mean that they actually utilize them or go to them. It's just if they choose to go to some of these conferences, there's pre-approval there without having to go before the board. And we can also enter into registrations and hotels and stuff like that prior to voucher system that's required by village law. So
Sure.
that's why it's here.
Got it. So moved. I don't think we moved it.
Yeah, I don't think we moved it.
No, we didn't.
So, Mishler,
Moved.
can I have a second?
Second.
Wicca? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That will carry. Item number 12 is a motion by the village board to authorize members of the Fairport Fire Department to attend the annual Harrisburg, Pennsylvania Fire Exposition.
Moved.
By Mishler,
Second.
by Briggs. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That will take us to 13, which is a motion by the village board to authorize a maximum of 4 Fairport Fire Department officers or instructors to attend the annual Fire Department Instructor Conference in Indianapolis, Indiana. Can I have a motion, please, in a second?
So moved.
By trustee Briggs,
Second.
by trustee Wojka. Again, something that's on every org meeting at the beginning of the year. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Then that will be that, and I think that we're at the end of the agenda for this meeting, so I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting.
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Briggs, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so that's going to take us to the next village, to the actual village board meeting, which will follow the regular process. If there are no concerns, I'm going to skip the Pledge of Allegiance since we already just did that at the last meeting 25 minutes ago. Does anybody have any concerns for us to move forward? And Megan, do you need to take the official roll call again? Okay, all right. So, welcome to the village board meeting for Monday, January 13th, 2025. We're beginning this meeting at 6:24 p.m. and we are in the Village Hall boardroom. We're gonna pass over the Pledge of Allegiance and go directly to roll call. Megan, could you take roll call, please?
Trustee Wojka,
Here.
trustee Banowski, trustee Mishler,
Here.
trustee Briggs,
Here.
Mayor Demratz.
Here, which will allow me to open, oh wait, we're gonna do the land acknowledgement in this meeting. So trustee Mishler, would you read the land acknowledgement, please?
I sure will. Before we begin this evening, we would like to recognize the Seneca Nation on whose ancestral territory we are gathering. The present-day village of Fairport sits on traditional Seneca land. The Seneca Nation, with the Mohawk, Cayuga, Onondaga, Oneida, and Tuscarora make up the sovereign Haudenosaunee Confederacy. With respect, we acknowledge the people of the Seneca Nation on whose land we now live. We honor their past, present, and future contributions to and stewardship of this land.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That will take us to Citizens Forum, and I have guidelines that I can read, but I also noticed that we didn't have, did we have a sign-up sheet? Okay, do we have anybody signed up to speak? Okay, great. Then I'll just briefly go over guidelines. Speakers must be recognized by the presiding officer. You must come up to the podium and state your name and address. And I know I don't need to tell you this. Speakers can talk for 5 minutes. You can't yield your time to anybody else. Mrs. Frank, if you would like to come on up, because you were the person who signed up. How'd it go? Good.
Their Citizens Forum is at the end of their meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Margaret Frank, 44 Park Circle Drive. I received the alerts about the Village Board work session on January 22nd at 6:30, and the village shall discuss the zoning code update. It's not on the events calendar in the village website yet. I hope that that can be added. And looking forward to the update on 122. And thank you, Emily, for your 2 years of deputy mayor. And
You're welcome.
welcome to Heidi.
I forgot that it was 2 years. It went by
I
fast.
thought it was a year.
It was 2 years, yeah.
Jill, I can tell you, Jill will be updating the website. I think what she likes to do, though, is take the materials, make sure that she shows it to the village board, and then she puts it up on the website the next day.
Well, it was just, it's not on the events calendar.
Oh,
That's what I
okay.
meant. Yeah, it's not on the events.
We'll make sure that she gets that on there.
Just to have as much as you can to let people.
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much. Again, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you all. And I think, I don't know if I've ever seen you at a village board meeting before.
We met in November.
Okay.
Taylor Overstreet, we just moved on to Poplar Place from Chicago.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, thank you. We're glad you're back. Okay, so that will take us back to the regular agenda. So Citizens Forum will be closed at, unless somebody else wants to rush the podium. Seeing none, we'll close the Citizens Forum at 6:28 p.m. And we'll move back onto our regular agenda. So item number 1 is unfinished business. Item 1 is a motion by the village board to approve the meeting minutes of the December 9th village board meeting.
Moved, trustee Mishler.
Second, trustee Briggs.
Any questions or comments about the December 9th minutes? I think we were all here in December, right? Was there anybody missing?
Oh, I can't move it then, sorry.
Yeah, okay, so trustee Briggs, do you mind being the motion?
I will move it, yes.
And
Second.
trustee Woikel will be the second. And any questions or comments? We'll do that one more time.
Sorry about that.
And
Forgot I wasn't.
I guess you have a question or comment because you don't know who was attending the meeting. Okay, sorry, I had to laugh. So you will need to abstain, but all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions?
One abstention. Trustee Mishler.
Okay, great. That will carry, which will take us on to new business, which starts with item number 1, which is a motion to introduce local law number 1 of 2025 to override the tax levy limit established in the general municipal law, section 3-C, and to set the public hearing for proposed local law number 1 of 2025 on February 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Trustee Woika,
Second.
trustee Briggs, and for anybody who's not familiar with this, this is a procedure that we do every January, and we have to pass, we don't have to do this, but we pass a local law in case we need to either override the tax levy or if some kind of error was made in calculations that inadvertently we overspent the tax levy limit. And so it's there. It's not, we don't pass this because we have plans to override the tax levy, but you need to do it because if for some reason you did have to override it, or if you accidentally overrode it, you would, the village would get fined and that would go back to taxpayers. So in an effort to make sure that we're doing things as concisely as proper and properly, we write this local law every year. Any questions? I did a terrible job explaining that,
No,
but
you did good.
It's
hopefully
really
you
great
got it.
To avoid penalty or
Yes, we're trying to avoid penalties.
if
when-
there's an error made.
Correct.
Okay.
And like I said, we don't start off the year going, let's override it. But it's there in case of either instance happening. Any questions? I think y'all got it. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? And again, there will be a public hearing for local law number 1 at our next village board meeting on February 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in this boardroom. Item number 2 is a motion by the village board to accept the December 2024 financial statements for the Village of Fairport and the November 2024 financial statements for the Fairport Municipal Commission. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Briggs. Questions or comments? Anything for Megan or for Brian? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. Item number 3 is a motion by the village board to authorize the audited bills. Can I have,
So moved. Oh, no, this is where I have to.
you don't have to, just say so
Well-
moved. Now, what do we do because,
I did
did
it.
you do
Emily
it?
did it, yeah.
I
Okay.
have reviewed the audited bills, and I make a motion to authorize payment of the audited bills.
I've also reviewed the audited bills and second the motion to pay the bills.
Terrific.
Teamwork.
Just a couple comments about them.
Sure.
We have a new rescue truck, the fire department. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that looks really great. And then we have 2 new plows, if we authorize payment.
Well, we've already taken delivery of those.
Yeah.
Okay,
But yes, we're doing that, and there's some other stuff, I think you're in there, some garbage trucks, chassis that we're purchasing and getting going. So we're finally starting to catch up on some of these vehicle and chassis issues and other equipment that were kind of been delayed just due to challenging procurement times in the past. So, but you're right, for the fire stuff, it's been a long time coming with this rescue truck and trying to get the proper equipment and things that we need to do that. So, yeah, I'm glad it's happening.
and the plow
Yeah.
trucks have already been in use, correct?
I believe we've already purchased those and have those in stock, don't we? Did we take delivery of those yet? Okay. What does your invoice say?
I know we
on
still
your
some
voucher?
plows. I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
But
if it was
regardless,
delivered.
yeah,
Okay.
They're huge.
yeah.
We went down to the DPW last month, and those wing plows, we got to stand right next to the wing, and I'm like, I don't want this to come near me on the road.
I would encourage all of you to go in there and just sit in one of those. So when you go see them down the road, they don't look like a whole lot, right? But when you get in there, you're really, really high up. And the bigger issue for that is there's no visibility. So you can't see the wing off to your right or the passenger side. The window on the door is not there like sometimes you see in there. You can't see over the hood. The blade in front probably sits out a good 15 feet from the window, from the window. So it's just a very challenging thing. So if you think about how easy that is to drive those, I wouldn't want to drive them in sunny days with people around. Do that at night, no visibility, and then the snow flying. It's challenging to do that. It gives you a whole other perspective when you sit in there and you realize how little you can see around you. I mean, I'd be scraping cars all over the place. We'd be playing claims out all day. So it's definitely something you get used to, and you got to be comfortable doing that work.
We have some
sure.
very talented drivers because we don't get
It's
very
not as
many
simple as you think it
claims.
is. Oh, they're just driving all night and they're plowing snow. It's significant. It's significant. I'm sure they're white knuckling most of the time.
Are they named?
The trucks?
Yeah.
No, but I like that. We should do that. Something like a Memphis Belle type thing and name them all.
No, naming
Rosie.
snowplows, it's hilarious.
It's a thing?
Yes,
Yeah, oh,
it
it's definitely a thing.
absolutely
I'm
is a
in.
thing.
Clover,
Can we offer
the
suggestions?
canal mule.
No, you have to check it out. I sent this to Chief
Frosty?
last year when
Yeah,
this
there was-
came in, and they really are.
Some villages have had like naming contests for their plow trucks. And then they put it on the top of the blade. It's definitely a thing.
I think it's
I
a
love
great
it.
idea.
I'm in.
Great idea,
Have some
Trustee
fun
Brooks.
with it.
Especially with them being
Some
brand
humor.
new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Sounds great.
We'll name them by the next meeting.
$250,000 per truck. What's a
Yeah.
$200 sticker, right? Let's do it. I like it.
I also noticed that one of our officers is taking advantage of the tuition reimbursement and going back to, taking college classes, which I thought was really
Officer
cool.
Dinan's been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of good cybersecurity and
Yeah.
IT related stuff. He's doing well. Passes all his classes, studies hard. Yep.
Did you check out the diverted
Impactor?
waste?
Oh, yeah, you know I did.
I saw you
Yep.
circled that, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna let Heidi do that.
So the Impact Earth, the amount that the Village of Fairport composted for the month of December was 1.67 tons or 3,340 pounds of compost, which is great. I think it's about on par with what we've been doing right around that, just shy of that 2-ton mark.
I went to deliver my compost the other day and it was frozen inside the bucket. If anyone saw me out there trying to get it out of the bucket, it was a sight.
Well, they get frozen in the compost bins as well when it's time because it's wet
Oh, yeah.
and organic material and stuff. So
Yeah,
we
it was
have those
not
issues.
It's
good.
the best time if you have to compost stinky things is this time of year.
Except for you can't get it out of the bucket.
We haven't really had that problem in the past. I mean, lately, in the last couple, 2, 3, 4 years, it's been fairly warm in the winter and stuff. We've been
Yeah.
having a cold spell, so it is creating a challenge,
Yeah.
for sure.
Anything else? All right. Then all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That will carry unanimously as well. Item number 4 is a motion by the village board to amend the previously approved amount of $60,000 to pay health and dental insurance premiums paid in the month of January to $51,812.17.
So moved.
By trustee Boyka,
Second.
by trustee Briggs. I don't think you have any questions, but I'll just look. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. Item number 5 is a motion by the village board to authorize the clerk treasurer to pay health and dental insurance premiums for the month of February in an initial estimated amount not to exceed $60,000, subject to audit and amending authorization by the village board at their regularly scheduled February meeting, which is what we just did in the last item.
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Woika. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed?
I worked diligently with John to try to get this removed from our agenda to put on the org meeting as something that's just permitted throughout the year. 4 phone calls and a novel later, John was like, nope, this is just the way it's gonna be, so it's gonna stay on there. But I tried to get that removed because it's this
the
continuous thing.
monthly-
That you're giving
Just
monthly
done.
authorization versus just doing a unilateral thing. It just, the law doesn't permit it. It's always bothered me because it's just this weird thing that we can permit certain things, but when it comes to this, we can't do it. It is what it is, but
You can blame me.
yeah, I tried.
It's
I
not your
tried.
fault.
That's okay.
No, we have an archaic village law that does not allow us to add this. Yeah, the
Yeah.
state village law.
State,
They need
state
an
law.
update to the code.
Certain things that you can't.
You can't override a state law.
I mean, not us, but they.
Yeah. All right, so that will be 6, which is announcements and committee reports. And I just have a couple things, and then I'll pass it around to everybody. One, I want to welcome Jonna McCooey, which she is the new executive director for OSED, the Office of Community and Economic Development. Today was her first day. So welcome to OSED in Fairport. And she will be taking over for Martha Malone, who retired last month. and we're really looking forward to working together with her on initiatives for our community. In addition to trustees Wojka and Mishler, I attended the annual retreat for the partnership this weekend, and it was just a nice opportunity to meet with many members of our community who are involved with different projects and work that they are doing with the partnership. And then lastly, on Friday, we did a ribbon cutting for Stony Point Studio, which is on North Main Street. I don't have the exact number, but it's just north of High Street in the brick building on Main Street there. And they have some sponsorship from the Canal Corporation and NYPA. It is a studio that provides art training, and they also do work in a very friendly and accessible manner. So Accessible Adventures was there in sponsorship, and the Canal Corp, and it's a really beautiful spot. There's lots of great work by the students, and I would highly recommend just stopping in and seeing what's there. Yeah, they offer classes to adults, to students. I know the owner has done work with helping homeschooled students have an art program in homeschooling as well. So it's accessible to everyone and offers all ages of instruction. And with that, I'll start down at this end. Trustee Briggs, I know you were gone for a little while, but have anything that you'd like to update us with?
Just that City Magazine does a best of every year, best of 2024, and Fairport, the cannery is absolutely the #1 place to go in the county for, so it is a hot spot. I mean, the East End has been the place to go for years, and now the cannery is the place to go in the county. As well as a shout out to Crafts Bits and Pieces. They've got an award for upcycling and making arts and crafts accessible and sustainable, as well as our gourmet Italian store. Yeah, so Lombardi's. So that was really nice that
Mary
Fairport
and
got
Anthony.
recognized. Yeah. So, I mean, gotta love where you live and
Congratulations to all those award winners.
yes.
That's fantastic. Okay, Trustee Mishler.
Couple things. Congratulations to all of our new appointments and returning appointments. Really want to just acknowledge Martha Malone and her years of service and helping to move this village forward and in all the ways that she has and will continue to, I think, have an impact on our community. She's a resident as well. I know that she's been very helpful to me, meeting me for coffee and whenever, she was always available. So I just really appreciated her service and wanted to acknowledge that. What else? We also have a new yoga studio that opened up, Barry's Yoga, right across. They have heated yoga classes, and I did try it out for the first time a couple weeks ago. It was over break. Hot yoga. It was great. Her name is Ryan Barry, the owner, and she runs a fantastic class, so I highly recommend checking it out. And I think that's it.
Okay. Ryan and I did teacher training together.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
All right. I don't have any big announcements. I just want to echo what other people have said, what Trustee Briggs said about the businesses in Fairport getting that recognition. I am down at Craft Bits and Pieces like every week. So I very much appreciate what they have going on down there. And I know, I think all the workers there also volunteer,
Yes.
right? And I appreciate everyone that volunteers on a board and takes their time out to do something that helps everything work in our village. So I appreciate all of that, so.
Sounds great. With that, our upcoming village board meetings, we have a village board work session on Monday, January 27th at 6 p.m. So it's a different meeting for the zoning update.
It's the 22nd?
Is the 27th our work session, and we're having a different meeting for the, I just didn't have it straight in my head. Okay, so there is an update to the village board for zoning on January 22nd at 6 p.m. in this room. And then our work session will be Monday, January 27th at 6 p.m. here at Village Hall. And then our next regular village board meeting will be Monday, January 10th at 6 p.m. in this room as well. So those are the most current ones. Yeah, there will be on January 15th, which is this Wednesday, there will be an ethics training for all of the volunteer boards and the village boards in this room. So the public need not attend unless they're planning on being on a board. But I know we have somebody helping to direct that who's here in the room tonight
Promises to be a very exciting presentation.
on ethics. Thank you.
Ethics.
I attended the ethics training at NICOM, and I actually was pretty engaged. I was like, whoa, I had never thought of that, like that scenario, if you will, like happening. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of nuances to ethics and conflicts of interest for municipal boards.
Yeah.
So it'll be interactive. That's usually how I do my training. So it won't be me talking for 50 minutes to an hour. There'll be some engagement, I hope.
yeah,
Excellent.
love it. We're looking
I
forward
think-
to it.
Jill has already asked for approval for snacks. If there's a meeting with Jill, there better be snacks. It does.
That's what I like to eat.
So with that, can I have a motion to adjourn by the village board?
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Briggs. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? And we'll call that a wrap at 6:47 p.m. Thank you all